Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, and I want to give my commentary on Brit Eady, now former cast member of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is suing the Bravo network and all of its affiliates for a whopping $20 million over an actually explicit photo that she says ain't her. Okay, so now before we get into the details, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. So we're also going to take a look at the court documents thanks to Urban Belle magazine. We are, however, going to first start off over on People magazine's website. In the byline, it's written by Liza Esquibias. And the headline reads, Brit Eady files $20 million lawsuit against Bravo, alleging sexual harassment and defamation over explicit photo scandal. Okay, and there is Brit. And those are some highlights. I'll go ahead and read them because I want to take my time in this video and go through all of the details. Because when it comes to Brit Eady, it's a lot. Brit Eady filed a lawsuit against Bravo, NBC, and production companies for The Real Housewives of Atlanta on Thursday, June 5th, alleging defamation, emotional distress, sexual harassment, and a hostile work environment. The notice, which has yet to be reviewed and docketed by the court clerk, cites an incident in episode 5 of Roa's currently airing Sweet 16 season, in which former cast member Kenya Moore displayed sexually explicit images of who she claimed to be Eady. Eady is suing for $20 million in damages and requesting that the episode be taken down. And she wants Bravo to make a statement as well. So according to court documents, Eady filed a $20 million lawsuit on Thursday, June 5th against Bravo, NBC, and the production companies True Original and Endemol Shine North America, alleging defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false light, and sexual harassment and a hostile work environment. I want to briefly pause there. Brit, you signed on to a reality TV show. You did not sign a job offer letter to go work in corporate America and some dude is harassing you every day, staring at you or whistling at you. You were on a reality TV show where all of your fellow cast members, your co-workers, are all women. They seem to all appear to be heterosexual. Some of them are married to men. Granted, they are divorcing them, but they are married to men. Or like Kenya, she was married to a man. So none of them were harassing you. As far as if you're trying to blame the viewers on Bravo, the viewers' opinions had nothing to do with the network and everything what you presented on camera. And what you did in episode 4, you gonna learn today, that triggered Kenya to do what she did that aired in episode 5. Both of y'all were wrong. But what does that have to do with the networks? It would only be a matter of a lawsuit, in my opinion, if you were like on a W-2 job, an everyday people job. You're going to work, you're getting harassed, you report it to HR, you report it to your immediate boss, nobody does anything. Then you sue. But this is not a W-2 job. This is a reality TV show during which you were talking ish and your coworker, she really went, above and beyond with her clapback. So I'm already thinking you're way out of pocket with these allegations. But let's continue. The suit stems from an incident that occurred in episode 5 of Roa's currently airing. Okay, I read that paragraph. Did I? Okay, I'm just going to go back over it because I don't think that I did. which was filmed last June, in which former castmate Kenya Moore displayed a poster board with explicit images of a woman she suggested was Edie performing oral sex during her hair spa opening party. Moore was suspended from the series soon after and later announced her official exit. Okay. Because Moore was working for the network, Edie is also suing them by respondeat superior, a legal doctrine that holds employers responsible for the wrongful conduct of their employees. So I'm going to pause right there because I did a quick Google search. I'm not going to show my screen because you literally can just type in respondeat, respondeat. Then the next word is superior. And the AI overview says respondeat superior translates to let the master answer. It is a legal doctrine that holds an employer liable for the wrongful acts of its employees. When those acts are committed within the scope of their employment. Essentially, it means the employer is responsible for the actions of their employees while they are working, even if the employer wasn't directly involved. So that is the legal term that Brit Eady's attorney is using to support them suing Bravo. So while I have my opinion, I feel like you're on a reality TV show. It's not like it's a W-2 job where you would go to HR, you go to your boss if nobody's helping. It's federal law that, if you're getting harassed and you report it, it has to be investigated. Then that's when you could possibly sue. But that is the legal term that her attorney is using. All right, so now let's go ahead and move on a little further. So the notice calls Kenya Moore's statement about Edie false, defamatory, harassing, and damaging, and claims that the images were not of Edie. Additionally, it alleges that Edie did not see the explicit photograph until after certain of these events were aired on Bravo nearly a year later. Defendants willfully, intentionally, recklessly, and or with gross negligence produced, edited, and aired an episode of ROA on April 6, 2025 that included footage of certain of the cast members' statements at issue, as well as a commentary from other cast members that described the photographs displayed per the filing. Further, the manner in which the episode was aired falsely yet unmistakably implied that the graphic actual photograph presented by the cast member depicted Edie. On information and belief, the defendants knew that the photograph did not depict Edie, or at the least were reckless or grossly negligent in failing to learn that the photograph did not depict Edie. Hold up. This is like no shade, but she is blaming Bravo for not knowing that that photo wasn't her. Brit, let me just remind you, you were not invited to the hair spa event because you threatened the hair spa owner with a pow pow. So you couldn't verify that that wasn't you. Unless some of the employees at Bravo was one of the webcam customers, allegedly, how would they know that that wasn't you? It's not like Kenya's guest list was every person that you dated or was intimate with. And no shade, but reportedly there's been some surgical enhancements to both face and body. Perhaps that played a role in the production and the guest not knowing that that was not you. And how were they supposed to figure out that that wasn't you? And again, this brings me back to my video that I made last night about, when was the photo presented? When they did the investigation, which would have been in 2024, Brit Eady should have seen the photo then. So if she was truly investigated by Bravo about both the pow pow and the photos, because see, Bravo, from what I interpret from Kenya Moore's video here on YouTube, Bravo didn't give a shit about the pow pow threats until Kenya did the images. Now, perhaps between the dinner that Angela Oakley organized, where Brit Eady was threatening Kenya Moore with the pow pow, and the hair spa event, perhaps the investigation happened between the two events. But, according to Kenya, they didn't take it very seriously. Like, it wasn't this in-depth investigation where they pretty much deposed Brit and asked her several questions. Kenya made it sound like they basically said to her, well, that night when you were filming, did you have a pow pow on you? And she said no. But we've all seen Brit, that infamous podcast clip where she says she carries one wherever she goes. But in any event, why, like, I would want to know, if that was me, I would be like, send me, I would have wanted production to screenshot the poster board and send it to me, because I would want to know, what did this heifer show? So I called BS on saying that the network knew that the photograph did not depict Edie, or at the least were reckless or grossly negligent in failing to learn. You should have learned. This is what you thought was your body and your mouth and your business. That's so silly. Edie claims she attempted to see the photo before the episode aired, but the network refused to show it to her. By the way of foregoing, defendants contributed to the hostile work environment for Edie and actually harassed plaintiff by subjecting Edie to unwelcome, offensive, and actualized behavior and comments based on her gender, by requiring her to continue working in an environment in which she had been subject to a gendered attack, creating an inferior condition or privilege of employment because of her gender. Brit, come on. No, the comments, the network can't control the viewers' opinions. The network cannot control that. And I want to say, Brit, on your Instagram post, when people would troll and say, you're one and done, this is going to be your only season on Roa, I can't wait for you to leave, whatever they would say, you would always respond back. You would respond back. Sometimes Portia would have a comment in there trying to root you on. I'm sure Portia's ghosting you now. She is officially a single mom, and her man is detained by ICE. She wants to hold on to her bag. I'm pretty sure she's already starting to give you the cold shoulder. But in any event, the Bravo network cannot control the viewers' comments on social media or your coworkers. It's reality TV. But let's move on. It concluded by requesting the immediate removal of the episode from public access on all platforms, networks, and media outlets in the defendant's control, along with a public statement acknowledging the episode shared a false depiction of Edie, and a monetary reward that included the legal fees. Well, Britt, I pay a monthly subscription to Peacock, and I want every episode, okay, of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want it all. I've never heard of Candy requesting that some episodes of season 9 get thrown out because of the allegations that Phaedra and Portia made about her. I can still pull that up right now on Peacock if I wanted to. It wasn't you. We didn't even see the photo. And whatever name you went by when you did webcam, I don't even know that name. So I can't find any of your webcam content on any of the sites, not the hub or any of them. X videos, not that I would know. But we can't find anything. And then you want them to remove the episode? If the defendants fail to appear, Edie asks that a judgment be issued for the sum of not less than $20 million with interest and the cost and fees of this action. People reached out to Edie's attorneys for comment. Bravo declined to comment when contacted by People. And we all know that also Andy tweeted saying that, this is like the highest level of petty I've ever seen, and like a popcorn emoji. and it's on the Neighborhood Talk. I screenshot it with my cell phone while working. I just went on his X account, Twitter account. And then it was so ambiguous. There were some people saying, are you saying this because of 45/47, like his whole blow up with Elon? But no, I think it's totally about Brit Eady's lawsuit. And then the rest of this People article is about her Instagram post from last night when she first said to us that the photo was not of her. Now, if you watched my video last night, then you know that I felt like she was totally making it up, that the photo is not her. I still feel that way. I feel like Brit has become a master at trolling the viewers. I think also she's trying to F with Kenya Moore, get her to question herself and get her to think like Brit ended up with a one up on her. Like you got fired from the show for no reason. It wasn't even me. Ha ha. And then now watch me, file this lawsuit. I think that's how she thinks. It's giving, very immature. But I'm still convinced that that is her, because I do have some confidence in Kenya that she's very intelligent. And I don't think she would just randomly blow up a poster of some random girl giving oral favors and it not even be Brit. Because if it is, then we're back to square one with Kenya's question, who is this hoe? So let's go ahead and get into the legal documents now. So share this tab instead. I want to make sure you all can see it. Shout out to Urban Bell Magazine. They always provide links to their, when they obtain legal documents for cases that relate to public figures, reality TV stars. So shout out to them. And we're going to go through these court documents. Now, if you have been watching my videos for several months at least now, I've said repeatedly that reading law documents is not my specialty, is not my forte. This is just 4 pages. And I am intrigued by what Brit is doing. I call it a stunt, but we're going to go ahead and get into it. So it is filed with the state of New York, county of New York. Brittany Eady is the plaintiff, and the defendants include Truly Original LLC, Bravo Media LLC, NBC Universal Media LLC, Endemol Shine North America, and Jane/John Doe 1 through 5. All right, plaintiff, okay, date purchase June 5th, 2025 is a summons with notice. Plaintiff designates New York County as the place of the trial. The basis of the venue is defendant's principal place of business. Situs of events and damages, contractual choice of venue provision. So I'm guessing like Truly Original and or NBC Universal or Bravo, maybe they're headquartered in New York. So that's why she filed the lawsuit there. You are hereby summoned and required to appear in this action by serving a copy of your notice of appearance upon the undersigned within 20 days after the service of this summons. Exclusive of the day of service, if this summons was personally delivered upon you in the state of New York, or within 30 days after service is complete, if the summons is not personally delivered to you within the state of New York. If you do not serve a notice of appearance or answer or otherwise respond within the applicable time limitation, a judgment may be entered against you by default for the relief demanded in the notice set forth below. And that looks like Brit's attorney, Benjamin D. White with Block and White LLP, attorneys for plaintiff Brittany Eady. Now we're on the next page. 25% through the legal documents already. And here are the addresses for the companies. New York addresses in Endemol Shine North America. Looks like they're based out of North Hollywood, California. Halfway there. Supreme Court of the State of New York, County, New York, Brittany Eady and the defendants. The nature of this action is defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false light, respondeat superior, and actual harassment and hostile work environment in violation of the New York State human rights law and the New York City human rights law in regards to an incident occurring during a June 6, 2024 taping of the reality television show The Real Housewives of Atlanta, ROA, and the subsequent production and airing of a ROA episode on April 6, 2025. That episode aired 2 months ago. On June 2024, at an event that was filmed for the production of ROA, one of the show's cast members willfully, intentionally, recklessly, and or with gross negligence made false, defamatory, harassing, and damaging statements regarding the plaintiff, another cast member on the show, in front of an audience of approximately 200 people. The cast member also displayed posters containing written false and defamatory statements regarding plaintiff and her cooperation, as well as an explicit photograph depicting a woman engaging in graphic sexual conduct. The cast member falsely claimed that the photograph depicted the plaintiff. Plaintiff was not present when the photograph was presented and did not see the explicit photograph until after certain of these events were aired on Bravo nearly a year later, as addressed below. Attendees of the event took photographs, video, and audio recordings of the cast members' statements and circulated certain of them on social media sites, including Instagram and TikTok, and the statements were subsequently circulated by media outlets. The foregoing actions of the cast member at issue were within the scope of the defendant's business and in furtherance of the defendant's business. Defendants willfully, intentionally, recklessly, and or with gross negligence republished certain of the cast members' statements at issue. Specifically, defendants willfully, intentionally, recklessly, and or with gross negligence produced, edited, and aired an episode of ROA on April 6, 2025 that included footage of certain of the cast members' statements at issue, as well as commentary from other cast members that describe the photographs displayed. Furthermore, the manner in which the episode was aired falsely yet unmistakably implied that the graphic actual photograph presented by the cast member depicted the plaintiff. On information and belief, defendants knew that the photograph did not depict plaintiff, or at the least were reckless or grossly negligent in failing to learn that the photograph did not depict the plaintiff. Despite plaintiff's repeated requests prior to the airing of the episode at issue that defendants show her the photograph, defendants refused to do so. By way of the foregoing, defendants contributed to a hostile work environment for plaintiff and actually harassed plaintiff by subjecting the plaintiff to unwelcome, offensive, and actualized behavior and comments based on her gender by requiring her to continue working in an environment in which she had been subject to a gendered attack, creating an inferior condition of or privilege of employment because of her gender. The only thing I've ever seen in a chat, I'm not going to say where, I've seen in a chat where, somebody did say she's Uchi Wally Wally, Uchi Bang Bang Edie. But the bang bang is not just because of, the actual images. Bang bang, hello, refers to the pow pow threat, but Uchi Wally Wally, Uchi Bang Bang, Uchi Wally Walla, Wally Wally by Nas. Okay, so that's the only thing. I've seen it in a chat before, but again, that nickname, it goes to both the actually explicit images and the pow pow threats. It's a combo, a BOGO, buy one, get one. The relief sought is as follows: the immediate removal of the episode from public access on all platforms, networks, and media outlets in the defendant's control, B, a public statement by defendants that the statements by the cast member and the depiction of those statements, including the impression that the explicit photograph depicted plaintiff were false. C, a monetary award to be determined at trial, entered against the defendants jointly and severally and or individually. D, as well as punitive damages entered against the defendants jointly and severally and or individually. And E, for the costs and fees of this proceeding, including legal fees and for such other and further relief as this court deems just and proper. Should defendants fail to appear herein, judgment will be entered by default for the sum of not less than $20 million with interest and the costs and fees of this action. Plaintiff designates New York County as the place of trial. The basis of this designation is defendant's principal place of business, the situs of where events relevant to this action occurred, and the venue selected in the employment contract governing the relationship between plaintiff and the defendant Truly Original LLC, as well as the employment contract governing the relationship between the offending cast member and defendant Truly Original LLC. Dated June 5th, 2025, New York, New York, by Benjamin D. White. Benjamin, you know you can type a really long sentence. That's why reading court documents are not my thing, because it feels like a maze. It feels like when I read court documents, I'm just on 75 South, headed down to Atlanta. It's about a 12-hour drive, and I'm just reading and I'm just driving. That's how it feels. Okay, so what do you all think about that? I'm glad we were able to whip through those. I'm glad it's only 4 pages. Super duper thankful. But some say that Bravo will definitely settle this with Brit, but who knows? They've got the cash flow to pay the lawyers to try and fight hard. They may fight it, or they may just let it go away. I don't think that they've settled with Leah McSweeney from the Real Housewives of New York, and they didn't settle with Nene, I don't think. I mean, didn't she get dismissed because she did not know or didn't read or ignored in her contract that she was supposed to go through mediation and not a trial? Does it say that in Brit's contract? Oh my gosh. I just added to my commentary. Do you, do you think why would they change that? Because that helped them with Nene. Nene tried to go to trial, and in her contracts that she signed with Bravo as a reality TV star, they were supposed to go through mediation. That was how her case got dismissed. I made a video on it. So if they haven't changed that about their contracts, Brit is cooked because she was supposed to go through mediation. I think this is going to get dismissed. Okay, I think it's going to get dismissed. Let me know in the comments, do you think it's going to get dismissed? And I've got this video titled right now, In Her Karen Bag, Brit Eady suing Bravo for $20 million, court docs inside. I may edit that to why I think Brit's case is going to be dismissed. All right. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. I hope you all had a fantastic Friday. I did. You all know that I'm in my infamous gym clothes. And then I got Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I don't eat meat, so I get the veggie hummus wrap. It has the black beans, lettuce, tomato, rice, and hummus. And I had the kale apple slaw as the side. So now I'm just gonna chill. I think I'm gonna make a couple more videos because I think I wanna talk more about that dismissal theory. All right. And I wanna talk about respondeat superior. I wanna talk about that in a separate video. It'll be much shorter. All right, so I will talk with you all soon. Bye.